All right, Kellen, thanks for joining us. I love that little dude, man.
Yeah,
He's
he's so much fun.
he's got some riz, as the kids
Yes.
say these days. The
Some
boy has
riz
riz,
and
which is
no
charisma.
yat.
No yat.
No
Well,
yat.
he's got a Craven's yat. We ain't known for our yats, you know what I'm talking about? But we're gonna touch up on a topic here today, um, about the most thing that a woman needs in marriage and a relationship. Don't have to be marriage and a relationship. Diana, you listen to this over there. I want you to take some notes now. We're going to give you some knowledge. We're going to kick some hope facts. And
Relentless
what a
Hope
man
style.
needs the most out of a relationship.
Super important.
Okay.
Right.
So a woman, his main thing that she needs out of a relationship is security,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
And a man's
Absolutely.
is what?
Respect.
Respect.
And they also like the cheerleaders. Not just the physical part of the cheerleaders, but the fact
I got a hot cheerleader
that
over there.
they are constantly being positive and
Yeah.
telling them what they need and not bashing
Yeah,
them.
it's like Jimmy Evans. We talk about marriage today a lot on here, so you're going to hear a lot of that
A lot.
content. Because why? Because it changes our lives, and people need to listen. So somebody might hear this that didn't hear him because they're not going to click on him because he got a suit on, or whatever the case may be. But a cheerleader does what? A cheerleader never stops rooting for the team,
That's right.
even when they're sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Christians.
Hold the
Even
line.
yeah. There's a part where Jimmy Evans is like, hold up. So the team is losing,
Mm-hmm.
right? The football team's not doing good, and they're like, defense.
But they're telling them what they need to do.
They're telling them something negative in a positive way. They're
That's
not like,
right.
come on, idiot, catch the ball or do this. And that's what you've been in my life. Have been
Sometimes.
a cheerleader for me. Well,
I've had to learn.
yeah, sometimes, but even from the jump, even from when we were just friends, you were always like, oh, you got this, and you do that for everybody. That's one of your traits, godly traits I call them, but is you go, oh, you got this, because I can remember when we were just talking or whatever, used to when we first started talking. Let me tell you about this. I'd ride a bicycle with one handlebar with flats over the Caloosahatchee River to see her, buddy. This guy right here just pedaling, just did not care. That's how bad I wanted to see her.
Remember, you used to wait at the bus stop.
Easy
River.
with the bus stop.
Come on, Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, Mary. But no, yeah, I used to have to wait at the bus stop for her to come and get me, man. That's just, gosh, I forgot about that. But yeah, but
that's what you do.
You'll
when
do
you
that.
really
But
love
even
somebody.
then, I remember I would be having a bad day, and I'd be like, oh, and she'd be like, you've got this, and you can do this. Hold on, dang thing,
Your
because
music was a
she
big
was
one.
always real positive. Yeah, I wasn't even doing music, and she's the one who was like, people need to hear what you got to say. You're good. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But and then I started doing it. So you've always been a cheerleader, even through our marriage. When times I've wanted to give up on stuff, or times I've like, it's over. We ain't doing. I don't want to do it no more. I don't give a care what anybody says. We ain't doing. I'm doing this, and and you're like, no, you got this.
It's important to validate each other's feelings, right? It's important to validate them and let them say what they need to say, and then be that bridge builder, be that gap builder, and encourage them, because everybody has a bad day,
right?
Everybody.
10 people can say, oh, bro, you've lost some weight. You look good. And I'll be like, oh, thanks. And it means a lot, but then you can say it, and it can change everything. Or 10 people can say, bro, what's wrong with your hair? I'm like, what's wrong with your hair, dude? We worried about this hair, but you can say it. And I'm like, what do you mean my hair don't look good? Because your respect and what you think of me is what it is. And that's how it should be with your mate, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your fiance, what you're aspiring. If you're young, you got a boyfriend and girlfriend, just stay away from each other in the Bay of Cravens. Jackson Cravens.
She ain't got no boyfriend.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, but when you found the one or you're courting, but what you say to me, the respect, or you can say something to me in front of somebody that somebody else might say, and I feel disrespected, like
Absolutely.
and it can cause some problem. It can cause me to be, or like say there's a guy that plays the guitar and sings praise and worship.
Right.
I can't sing that great. I can do what I do, but
Yes,
rapping. And if John was like, just something about a man that prays and plays the guitar. Right. Just say you said something like
First
that
of all, I've
before.
never said something
Right.
like
But just
that.
say you did say something like that. But I mean, there's been times you've complimented people
Yeah.
and you know, childish as it was. And I'm like, well, what about doing the numchucks?
Well, that kind of
Can
sounds like
he
a Big
do the
Dave story.
nunchucks
Yeah.
like this?
Sounds like a Big Dave story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So because I want to be your hero and you know, I feel disrespected or
Well,
something.
and that's vice versa.
Right.
You know, I think that's a proven fact. You want to know that your mate that you're their number one hero,
Yeah.
right? You don't want them to look at somebody else and think of them that way. You want to be that for them.
And you should be
all the way
mate.
around.
And
Absolutely.
you know, it's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's not okay to give somebody compliments or
Give them
be,
props.
we all
Yeah.
know that there's good looking people. John and I know when a good looking couple walks in.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, he's a good looking dude. You're like, she's a pretty girl. You know what I mean? Or you know,
Beautiful people.
yeah, there's beautiful people, and that's fine. But I'm saying when it comes to the part where it's kind of disrespectful, because I've seen couples do that before.
Oh yeah, and
And
we're both like,
I won't say any names, but there's been times they're like, oh man, so and so, da 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 da, and I'm like,
dang,
I wouldn't even have no eyeballs if I said that right now. In the name of Jesus,
frying pan to the side of the head.
But you know, so that's respect, and there's many other ways you respect a marriage. You know,
Absolutely.
obviously, it could be respecting it, giving me respect by asking me what my thoughts are on something versus this or that, or just doing it, and vice versa too. But
Right.
that's a man's main thing is respect.
Absolutely.
Right? You want to be respected. A woman's is security. Like,
we need that.
Are we gonna be okay?
That's right.
Are we gonna? Hey, jobs ain't coming in. We gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Or security as you're the prettiest woman in the world, and you know that you've got my undivided
right
attention, and you're secure that, hey, you know, talk about, you know, the way you've lived your life. You've been involved in some places. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of places?
You might have been a dancer, but you know. So talk about when we got together, security, insecure, like, you know.
Well, I think a lot of times your security or your insecurities could come from what kind of lifestyle you lived. You know, I didn't have healthy relationships. I didn't know how to have healthy relationships. So my security was very low. You know, I mean, after going through Teen Challenge and then the police academy, I was at a more of a level playing field, you know?
Right.
But I still had a lot of insecurity from past relationships and just doing things that were not beneficial to being healthy.
And you had been in relationships where there was shadiness going on.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I say shadiness, you know, you know, I won't get into that because I'll say something that I shouldn't say about somebody. But I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to be a better Christian.
You're doing good.
I'm trying to. I really am though. I really am trying to be a different person, because at one time I would just blast it all out and say whatever and deal with whatever if we see each other. Right? We seen each other, we can talk about it too.
Yes.
But that's not right. But you had dealt with a relationship that you were on pills, right? So and you would get left sick because pills got stolen, which I never understood. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure my girl's taken care of, even dysfunctional as that is in a drug pain. I would still make sure you would be taken care of before I would, or we were gonna be the same, right?
We were gonna be equal.
Yeah, equal, or money. So for the first, I remember, and I was a dude who was total opposite. Like, my money was my money. I'll pay all these bills, but don't worry about what extra money I got.
Right, it's
but
mine.
This is my money. Here, you're taken care of. Go shop, do it. And I'm talking about past relationships, not you.
Yeah.
But and so I wasn't a dude. I wasn't a bank dude. You know, I liked cash. I knew at all times how much money I had. And John will tell you, I can tell you within the dollar of where it's at without even looking at it. I knew, because I grew up humble means. You know, I've had a lot of money and I spent a lot of money.
Right.
And so one of Jana's insecure things when we got in our relationship was money. Money. Well, you're going to
usually I was the one depended on to get the money,
or they left and you had nothing and you were screwed, right?
Or they took everything.
Yeah, they took everything. So I remember, like, when we would have our fights when we were going through our stuff, you'd close the bank account. Oh, yeah. How many times the bankers were probably like, "Oh boy, I bet they're dysfunctional."
Here comes John again.
Like, here's John again. Hey, John is calling. Change the PIN number. You know what I mean? And so I put my name on a bank account. But I didn't want to be on a bank account. I'm like, I'm a mason jar dude, right? And this and that. And I said, here, let's do it together, because she was always worried I was going to leave and take all the
Mhm.
money and leave her
Mhm.
this and this. And that was an insecurity from different ways in life that she had lived and stuff. So I used to be like, no, here's all the money. Here, you
Yeah.
take care of it then if it's that serious. And that came from, and we talked last week to Storm and Cricket, how
Mhm.
they do their thing. Why? Because they don't have that
That's what
insecurity. That works
works.
great for them. And
Exactly.
that's commendable because they trust each other. They know, hey, don't make no
That's
arguments,
beautiful.
this and this. For us, you coming from what you come from, that shows
Mhm.
you depends on how you were raised, what's going on, and what works in your relationship. So
Right.
you make that work. I know what works for David and Jonna, and Jesus coming down working for David and Jonna, and that's why we do what we do. But there is a time where you had to know. Now we don't. Now it's no
Now
thing
it's no
because
big
it's
deal.
just it is what it is. But that was a big one for me. I'd be like, I don't have to tell you every penny.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. And if it would be like a simple argument, like the bank account would be changed, all
Mhm.
the money would be withdrawn
Sorry
out.
about that.
And you remember,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
and
I
I'd
was
be like,
super
you
insecure.
got to be kidding me. My name would be taken off stuff, or it had to be
Oh
done.
yeah.
And I'm like, what? She's like, you're not gonna screw me, David. You ain't leaving me.
Yeah, because I made a vow
Yeah.
that kind of stuff would never
Happen.
ever happen to
And
me
we do
again.
that. We do that in life, don't we? Ain't
Yeah.
no. I tell you what, ain't nobody ever gonna hurt me again.
Mm.
Ain't,
You're gonna pay
I
for
tell you
what they did.
ain't nobody ever gonna. This man did it this time. Ain't nobody in a relationship gonna do that again. And then we make
So
ourselves
true.
God in the relationship, and that's unhealthy.
Right.
And we all do that. I've done that before. Let me tell you what, a girl won't ever do me again. This
Mhm.
ain't gonna happen. Little did I know that
Yeah.
was keeping me from being the husband and the
Yeah,
relationship.
and I didn't give you a fair chance,
No,
and
no.
that's where our
But
separation
that was
came
a
in.
security, thinking of one to try to make you secure. I would let you know, here, handle all the money if you
Yeah.
need to and do whatever. I'm not going anywhere. And I did that because even though some of it was silly,
Mhm.
and sometimes you're going to look into you, it's silly. Like I heard somebody say one time, a guy, and this is even me. People go, why do you are so big on tennis shoes? Because I grew up poor.
Right.
And my mom worked hard, and my mom was a waitress, and we never went without, and my clothes were clean. But I mean, you ain't trying to roll into where I grew up.
Mm.
A predominantly black neighborhood, uh, a white kid who talked kind of country. I got good at doing two things: telling jokes and throwing knees, and I
Right.
got pretty good at both of them.
It's
But
understandable.
but kids are mean, and I'd get made fun of because my shoes were off
You're
brand
wearing your
or whatever.
sisters.
I wore my sister's shoes one year. Thank God she had big feet. I love you. Props, shout out Heather D. But they were Nikes, but they wasn't the coolest ones. So, I made this thing like when I can buy shoes, I'll have shoes, right? So if
Mhm.
you hear that story, it doesn't sound so weird. And I heard a story one time where a guy had every kind of soda you could think of at his house.
Right.
All right. Every kind of soda you could drink. And they go, why do you got soda? And that guy's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
you make these judgments on people like he's kind of
Without
weird.
hearing the backstory.
Yeah, and he's kind of weird. Why do you have every soda? Well, his stepfather used to beat him, was real bad to him, and wouldn't let him drink soda, and he could only drink this. So he saw, when I get old enough, I'll have any soda I want. Then you go, wow, I can't believe how normal that guy is
Right.
for what he's been through, right?
It's so true.
And so even though that seems silly to me, to do it for you, I was like, hey, we'll build this security.
And
And
you were
then,
very good
add
about that.
infidelity, we both did infidelity in our marriage at
Mhm.
different times, when we were split up and going through
Separated.
things. And I remember thinking, we will never be able to come back from this.
Yeah,
I
me
remember
too.
thinking, I will never be able to trust her. And nah, that don't happen to Dave Cravens, buddy. You
Mhm.
going down the road, I don't play that stuff. And I never thought it would be. And then I remember when we got back together, I said, I'll do whatever it takes to prove, and I'll prove to you, my phone, you do this, you can do
Mhm.
whatever. That we started building that because I wanted you to be secure. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
And I was insecure about a lot of things too, and disrespected because things had been said, and we
Mhm.
were hurt people and did some bad things. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why we're on here telling you people, because you can be hurt people. You can do some things that the world will give you every grounds that you can get divorced and you shouldn't be in this, and you can make it and live it and have a good marriage
You
and
can
have a
change
good
it.
life, and you can change it. And it takes hard work, and it takes givingness. And sometimes you're like, this is stupid, I don't want to do this. But if it builds security in you, my main thing is I want to be my wife's heroes. I want to be my kids' heroes
Mhm.
when I end this race. And I want to be a good guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's been
And
times I
you're all
wasn't,
those.
so when you think of that, I'll do whatever it takes to make you secure.
Right. I
Right.
remember we were at that place in our lives and that point, and we were like, all right, we're going to dive into counseling,
Right.
and that was one of the best things for us because just like you've said in previous podcasts, there was little Dave and little Jonna, and things still were not healed, from previous relationships and from our childhood, and those places they needed to be gotten to,
Yeah.
and we had to do that, and in order to be healthier and in order to be good parents and good spouses, we
Yeah.
had to go there, right?
Yeah.
And we had to learn, hey, this is why you do this, because sometimes we do stuff and we don't even know why.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's just part of it.
It's part of it. It's a habit, and you're not even real sure why until you go back and revisit some places, and you're like, dang, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it also helps your partner, your spouse, understand, okay, this is why they are. Because
The way
sometimes
they
you
are.
look at people and you're like, gosh, this is silly,
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you thought some things of
Oh
mine
yeah,
were
I would be
silly,
like,
right?
this is crazy. I'm like, I've been in some relationship. What is this? What is wrong with
Right.
her? I didn't even, and then even my family knowing me, I, you know, I was not a good guy. So, and I didn't put up with nothing.
Mm-mm.
I ain't been called an MFer too many times in my life, whether they didn't knock me out or I didn't knock them out.
Right.
I don't care who it was. I didn't get talked to like that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time,
And I didn't either.
and no, and then we were having a crazy fight, and Jonna was said some things. And I remember my mom like, I've never heard anybody talk to David like that in his life. And this is my mom or my sister, but and we were going through things, but I knew that the underlying thing of it, and we would make through. So if
Yeah.
you're tuning in here thinking you were going to have a normal Christian podcast, we ain't your normal Christians,
We
but
are not your normal
but I can
people.
tell you right now, God can change your life. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna go off with that. The main thing is a woman needs to feel secure and a man needs to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
That's the two main qualities that a man and a woman needs.
Absolutely.
And I try to do my best to make her secure. And I'm crazy sometimes. So sometimes she's like, I don't know if we should do this, but if Jonna
But I trust
doesn't agree with it, then it's not from God, right? If we're not in agreement on it, it's not from God. So respect your husbands and wives, make them feel secure, even if it seems silly to you.
Right.
Like I said, there's been things that's been silly. Like, why do you got to do this? Because if it makes her feel secure, but it was the long goal. Now that's a joke to us. Like, we're like, can you believe we used to do that? But it had to become a habit and a pattern in our lives. So we love y'all. Peace out from sunny Southwest Florida.
Naples.
We're down here in Naples, Florida with Miss Diana.
We're down here in the swamp.
Yeah, we're down here in, this is more of an elegant swamp than where we're
It's a very bougie
living at.
swamp.
It's a boozer swamp. Nah, we love Miss Diana.
Yes.
Vote Tim Jarrett.
Vote Tim Jarrett.
Go like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We love y'all till next time. Peace.
Peace.